I'm lost in darkness, searching for light. Every step forward feels like a fight. Shadows of doubt creep in my mind, but I refuse to surrender. I must find a way to rise above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand still. The weight of the world crushes me down. Fear and uncertainty all around. But I deep find inner strength to face the trials length by length. A way to rise above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand still. Through every storm, I'll find my way. Through every night, a brighter day. I'll rise from ashes, like a phoenix born. My spirit unbroken, my heart reborn. I've walked through fire and emerged scarred, but wiser, stronger, and unmarred. My existence is a test of will, of trials overcome, of a soul made bold. The weight of the world above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand still. Oh, made bold. Through every storm, I'll find my way. Through every night, a brighter day. I'll rise from ashes like a phoenix born. My spirit unbroken, my spirit unborn. I'm lost in darkness, searching for light. Every step forward feels like a fight. Shadows of doubt creep in my mind, but I refuse. Day, nothing changes. All I want is a moment to think clearly, but thoughts come unrelenting, consuming every waking moment. My mind binds me and I can't escape. I shout for help when no one hears me. One day I fear I'll just disappear. Lost in this chaos, I'm searching for peace.
Hey, greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to the Dirt Sheet Radio NXT Post-Show Rewind. It is March the 4th, 2025, and I am Tyler, the Pro Wrestling Hipster, here flying solo with you tonight to break down all the news of the day for NXT, and we had a pretty good show tonight. Me and a little Molly Holly here, and yeah, guys, we had a good one tonight, but before I can get into all the nitty-gritty and all the graps tonight, I'd have to give that shout out to dirtsheetradio.com. That is dirtsheetradio.com, your one-stop shop for all things professional wrestling. Make it your homepage. Look at it all day long, just like we do. not because we're legally obligated to do so, but because we love to do it. Folks, like I said, a heck of a show tonight. Oh, you on that way, Molly? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Lots of well, really, the final groundwork laid for next week's Roadblock event at Madison Square Garden. Going to be a big show. I'll be talking about that a little bit later as we go through the show tonight. And we did have a quite a big main event with quite a big finish tonight. But we will get there when we get there. Guys, we're going to start at the beginning of the show, as that is a lovely place to start. This evening's NXT program came to us from the Performance Center, live in Orlando, California. Apparently it was live, except for in the New York and Chicago markets. I guess they were preempted for the president's speech he was giving here in parts unknown Ohio. It's Columbus for you guys keeping track of that sort of thing. It was business as usual. They were airing that on, I think, the news desk that's on immediately after NXT here on my local C-Dub affiliate. But yeah, so apparently Chicago, New York, not getting it live tonight. They are getting the show tomorrow evening. So, but yeah, so as I said, show is in the Performance Center this evening, and we had a pretty good card announced ahead of the program tonight. As the show opened, they had a recap video package for last week's excuse me. Little problem in the throat there of last week's NXT, running down the events of that, and then the show opened as it typically does every week. We had Vic Joseph running down the upcoming matches with wrestlers filtering into the ring, and yeah, that took us into the opening match tonight. Sol Ruca and Zaria taking on Chelsea Green and Piper Niven in tag team action. Always good to see Chelsea coming down to NXT and imparting a little wisdom and fisticuffs with the next generation of talent. The match was pretty damn solid. Good action throughout. I at some point in the near future need a Piper Niven Zaria match. Those two can just club the hell out of each other. But great performances from all parties involved here. A lot of good strength spots for Zaria here this evening. And 10 minutes, 10 seconds tonight, if you can believe it, the winners, Sol Ruca and Zaria. Sorry, I built up far too much suspense right there. That was a bit much. But yeah, shocker to me. I didn't expect them to get the win here. I say it every week. I find this pairing a little odd, but damn if they're not making it work. That's something that NXT excels at. Taking something that I'm not really completely sold on and making it function pretty well over the course of a few weeks, just through matches and a couple vignettes here and there. They're gelling as a team. It's a very odd team, but they're working very well. And this is the kicker here. While both were involved in the finish, Sol Ruca was the one that got the pin on Chelsea Green specifically. So not just a huge tag team victory for the rookies, as it would be, as it kayfabe, but also a really, really big win here for Sol Ruca, pinning the United States champion Chelsea Green. And, so that would probably give her an argument, to vie for a title match at some point in the future. Yeah. Oh, also too, I'm not 100% sure where in the match it happened, but Chelsea just got busted open, and a champ, a trooper, an absolute professional is Chelsea Green. But yeah, she was bloodied and beaten by the end of this match when it was all said and done. Yeah, crowd was into it. Crowd was hot all night. Like, there were a few times this evening, especially during a couple of the in-ring talking segments, where I had a little bit of a difficult time hearing the wrestlers over the crowd. So I don't know if they were, mic'd a little louder, or if the crowd was just that much more into it tonight. That took us to an earlier in the day segment. We had Jordynne Grace. She was speaking with Ava one-on-one at first. And she was quickly approached by Cora Jade, who was upset, saying that, hey, you said you didn't have time to talk to anybody today. And this set up for a match between the two later tonight. Now, I'll talk about it when we get to it, but that one had an abrupt finish, abrupt ending, unfortunately. All right, back in the Performance Center, we had Jaida Parker making her entrance ahead of the break when NXT does that thing that NXT does that I don't particularly like, where someone makes an entrance, they go to the break, they have another segment, and then an entrance at a match. But I'm not booking this, so I don't make these sorts of decisions, unfortunately. But when we came back from the break, we were in the backstage area where we had Trick Williams talking with Ava, kind of pressuring her for that match with Eddie Thorpe. And she was approached by Kale Dixon and Uriah Connors. They had a gift for her, as she apparently has a new office after the as of yet unnamed masked group of 4 men destroyed her office and destroyed Mr. Stone, who we haven't seen on TV for a few weeks now. Poor guy. But they were trying to give her some stuff, and Trick was pissy about this. Trick's like, look, I get that he's starting to lean heel, but goddamn, he's just being a douche. Just bit much, Trick. But he gets mad that they're trying to give her a gift right now, and he gets all in the face of Kale Dixon, and they get mad for him disrespecting Andre Chase, and they've really been sticking up for Andre Chase and trying to uphold the memory. I guess they're trying to get Chase U revitalized. They want Chase U back. We all want Chase U back. But yeah, he got all up in his face, and this would set up for a match between the two later tonight, which I was pretty pumped for. I've watched Kale Dixon quite a bit. CJ and I reported on Kale a lot when we were covering Level Up, when Level Up was still a thing. But yeah, same thing with Uriah Connors, 4th generation superstar Uriah Connors. It's Fit Finley's kid. But yeah, this would set up for a match later in the night. And then we had Kelani Jordynne making her entrance ahead of her match with she's Kelani Jordynne, Jesus, with Jaida Parker. This was outstanding. Maybe my match of the night. We'll get into that a little bit later, but yeah, this was just bell to bell, fantastic action. Kalani just continues to improve week after week, and Jaida Parker, I say this so often, I'll keep saying it. Jaida Parker is the real deal. She has got everything it takes to be a megastar in professional wrestling, and she is going to be a mainstay in this company for decades. She's young. She has a long, long time to go. But yeah, fantastic match, hard hitting, brutal. They really put a lot into this. Really, some really good spots, some creative offense from Kelani Jordynne. She really does put that gymnastics background to good use, coming with some creative ideas in the ring. And those ideas probably wouldn't work with every opponent, but Jaida Parker is acrobatic enough to make a lot of those more kind of gymnastics heavy spots work. But fantastic match, 12 minutes 50 seconds. Jaida Parker the winner here. Like I said, if you don't have time to watch all of NXT and you're just watching a couple matches from tonight's show, that would be one to make sure that you check out. Just great. Like I said, good action. 12 minutes, 50 seconds. Good amount of time for them, too. Women's division in NXT, y'all. It's pretty much the strongest one. In my opinion, people can at me if they want, It's at PW Hipster or the Pro Wrestling Hipster, I'll fight for my right to believe that the NXT Women's division is the best. It's fantastic. Back into the show here and back to the backstage area. We had the family being interviewed by Kelly Kincaid, who is back from maternity leave. Kelly Kincaid had a daughter, I believe, in September. If I've got my timetables right on that, but she is back at NXT, holding the mic for the backstage interview. So good to see her back, and congratulations to Kelly Kincaid. But she was interviewing the family here ahead of tonight's main event, where Tony D'Angelo would be defending the NXT North American Championship against Shawn Spears. Of course, the family there with Tony, and things are looking a little tense there between the family and Tony. And Tony said that Stacks was concerned about his back, but he's going to go in there and face Shawn Spears anyway. I mean, the numbers are pretty even here between the family and Shawn Spears and the information bush, trademark pro wrestling hipster, information bush. It is not a learning tree; it is an information bush. But from there, ahead of the break, they teased that the Hardys would be coming out to talk to the NXT faithful. I prefer saying that over NXT Universe. It's just a preference, guys. Oh, goodness. But yeah, so back from the break, before we got the Hardy segment, we had a press conference of sorts where Obafemi was was fielding questions regarding his upcoming match with Moose at Roadblock next week. I actually like this. The framing of it as a press conference was a wee bit hokey. Sorry, Oba. Jeez, offended there. It was a wee bit hokey, but it worked. Obafemi has shown that he's capable of performing these interviews in a just myriad of different varieties. Someone holding the stick beside him, by himself in the ring, going back and forth with other people in the ring, back and forth in backstage segments, and even in a question answer format. He excels in all forms of that, and that's God. He's so young. He's so young, and he's just going to get better. Like, he has just such a great grasp of his character, and just he speaks with such a level of gravitas. He's a champ, guys. He is an absolute champion. He carries himself that way. So I dug this, and he just put Moose over a bit here. Talked about how damaging he is and powerful and strong, and he talked about how they're pretty evenly matched size wise, but this is a very important match. He has to win it, because if he does not win, that means that the NXT championship will be around the waist or the shoulder of someone that is not even contracted to this company. And he can't have that. He is the ruler, and he will not abide that. But loved this segment. Like I said, Obafemi's he's so damn good. I'm really looking forward to that match with Moose next week. But all right, so back into the Performance Center here. We had the Hardy Boys making their way out to the ring, and they got an enormous pop here tonight. An absolute enormous pop. NXT crowd very excited to see them, as could be expected. And there is still just such a surreal aspect to the fact that the Hardy Boys are not just back in the WWE umbrella, as it would be, but they're at NXT. But they're not just at NXT helping the next generation, working with the youth. They're also the TNA Tag Team Champions. This is what happens when you turn on the Large Hadron Collider. This is what has happened to the timeline, y'all. Not complaining though. It's the wrestling's good, guys. The wrestling's good. But the Hardys cut a very gracious promo here. There was a welcome home chant from the NXT crowd, and they really put over NXT. They put over their experience there, talking about how positive and uplifting the locker room is, and how great it was to get to work with such competitive young teams like the No Quarter Catch crew. I don't know why, and I love Matt Hardy to death. Between Matt and Jeff, I've always been more of a Matt guy, version 1. Love Matt Hardy, but for some reason when he's saying these names, these more elaborate names of teams and wrestlers, it feels semi-forced. Like he's very concerned he's going to just F it up and say no worries, catch can or something. It's just a feeling I get. I don't know if that's really what's going on through Matt's head. But yeah, I don't know, there's just a slight awkwardness to it. And I also, though, I love that he's living multiple gimmicks at once right now. He's Matt Hardy. He's just kind of being Matt Hardy, but he's doing things that the Hardys were doing in 2000. He's doing broken Matt Hardy things. There was a Brother Nero chant. Um, yeah, it's all over the place, and I love it. I love when someone's career has gone so long that it just becomes a kaleidoscope of character and facets. And yeah, it's a tad bit cheesy, a little hokey, but it's professional wrestling, guys. Professional wrestling. But the Hardys were out there talking for a little bit longer than you usually let Matt and Jeff talk, but they were interrupted in time by Hank and Tank, and Hank and Tank got booed here. Little mad at the Performance Center crowd over that. Don't know why the hell you're booing Hank and Tank. They're just trying to get some screen time, trying to get a little wisdom from the Hardys here. They were out there asking the Hardys advice. They wanted some advice from one of the greatest, if not the greatest tag team of all time. And the Hardys told them that sometimes you got to dig deep and you got to go extreme. And they immediately thought this meant tables, ladles, even ladles. Why not? It's not a swing at them because they're bigger guys. I'm not a small guy myself. Okay, we love ladles. Okay, big fan of soup. But they thought that they were insinuating that they meant tables, ladders, and chairs and that sort of thing. It just said no. It's much more to the extreme lifestyle than that. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of being. Feel it. Your heart. Don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know how that went to a Ricky Bobby place. But yeah, I dug this. I like seeing Hank and Tank get some screen time with the Hardys. I was hoping for a little physicality here, but maybe in due time. Hank and Tank are an awesome team. So Hank and Tank, they as they were talking with the Hardys here and getting along swimmingly, Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura's music played, and they got booed too. This made a little more sense, but they're not really heels either. But they kind of lean it a little bit more with at least how they've been working their matches. And they've been kind of going after Hank and Tank a bit here too. And Hank and Tank have been crowd favorites for the most part, with the exception tonight, of course, where they were getting the just bejesus boot out of them for some unknown, godforsaken reason. But this led to some words between Briggs, Inamura, and Hank and Tank. And Hank and Tank nodded at each other. You said you think what I'm thinking? They said extreme, and they dove through the ropes, twin tope suicidas. And they brawled with Inamura and Briggs to the back. So I'm sure we'll get something with them in the near future. I'm here for it. Actually, I'm very here for that. That should be a very stiff, solid, just brawl of a tag team match. So whenever they do that, I'm ready for Hank and Tank taking on Briggs and Inamura. And again, I say this, I wasn't thrilled at first that Josh Briggs was heading back into a tag team capacity. However, it's starting to grow on me. Again, I like this pairing with Inamura. They're fun. They're fun together. There's something like, I don't want to say playful, but like kind of lighthearted about their pairing. But at the same time, you feel like that they would put somebody's head through a jukebox kind of a thing. Almost like a Farouk and Bradshaw kind of feel. Honestly, I get that kind of vibe from them. I would think that's relatively high praise. But after they brawled to the back, Matt Hardy facing the entrance ramp, just shouted, "Fraxium, I knew you'd come." And Matt and Jeff turned around, and there was Fraxium standing behind them. That's right. Matt Hardy can still feel and sense the presence of other professional wrestlers like a disturbance in the force. God, I love Matt Hardy. But they and Fraxium shared some words here, hyping their match next week at Roadblock at MSG for the TNA Tag Team Championship. going to be a fantastic match. Really, really, really looking forward to that. And I was a little surprised. There's a lot of title for title action going on here, but this one's just for the TNA title. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in that. I'm thinking that means the Hardys are probably going to take this one. I can't imagine that they're going to have Fraxium win the TNA tag titles. I mean, they could, but I'm kind of thinking that Moose is going to lose to. Oh, but you know what? I'll get into my little predictions for that a little bit later. But I don't know. It's a tough one to call. Tough one to call. All right, staying hydrated, guys. It's a 2-hour show. It's a lot of talking. All right. So we had after the break a segment. It was a pre-taped video segment hyping the Stephanie Vacker and Julia title match taking place next week at Roadblock. I know I keep saying this, but again, incredibly excited for that. It's going to be just an absolute banger of a match. I do still feel like they're going there a little quickly. So I don't know if there's going to be an actual like clean finish. I don't know that one of them is actually going to be walking away with both of those championships. Again, that has to do with the fact that they're doing the championship match with Oba and Moose. It's just there's a lot of moving pieces going into Roadblock ahead of Stand and Deliver. God, there's a lot happening, guys. A lot happening. They also announced that at Roadblock next Tuesday, the LFG coaches will be in attendance. I wonder if Sexy BJ Ray will also be there, as he is an annoyance to Bubba Ray. But Bubba seems to actually like him. If you're not watching LFG, guys, I cannot sing its praises highly enough. I'm having a really fun time with it. It's an interesting mix of in-ring action, competition reality, kind of an inside baseball discussions. And it's really cool. It's really cool to see The Undertaker just kind of be a normal guy, kind of be, just a teacher imparting wisdom to these guys. And it was kind of funny to hear him explain the concept of the back and forth punches as the boo yay moment. I just never expected to hear the word yay so casually fall out of the Undertaker's mouth, hellfire and brimstone, yay. But yeah, it's really fun show so far. The third episode aired Sunday, and I think it's only 7 episodes, so all right, plenty of time to catch up, guys. Plenty of time to catch up. All right, so that would take us back into the PC and into our next match. We had Jordynne Grace taking on Cora Jade 1-on-1, and Masha Slamovich was in attendance there. Not sure who is directly next to her, but for a moment at a glance, I thought it was Tommy Chong. It's not, but I thought that it was. This match, this is unfortunate, guys. Referee stoppage. They call Jordynne Grace the winner here. 7 minutes, 43 seconds. During the break, I think she has landed bad, guys. But Cora Jade hurt her knee. It would appear that she hurt her knee. Thank you, Christopher Leclerc. Yes, thank you. I saw the comment coming earlier. I was kind of just waiting for the segment to come up here. Oh, you're saying she injured her head. I haven't heard anything concrete, but she was holding her knee. She walked slowly out of the ring here tonight. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure on what's going on with that, what the injury really is, the seriousness of it. But they did stop the match, and she appeared to be crying. Walking to the backstage area, it was weird. It was definitely a weird moment coming back from coming back from the break. Like I said, she was just sitting there, as you can see, sitting in the corner, talking to the trainers and holding that right knee. Just whatever it is. Hopefully, it's not not that serious, and she'll be all right. This would just be absolutely heartbreaking for Cora Jade, and really just all of her fans and everyone in NXT if she went back down with an injury that took her out for any serious amount of time, especially going into Stand and Deliver season. So, like I said, I said this on Facebook, doing the updates for DSR and on my Pro Wrestling Extra page as well. If I'd heard anything else, I certainly would have shared it. But as of yet, I haven't heard anything anything else regarding that the injury. But like I said, so whatever it is, hopefully everything's all right. But oh, guys, actually, glad I was popping here to check on Twitter. Just about half an hour ago, Cora tweeted that she got rocked for a sec, but my knees are all good, decent, with a skull emoji. Thanks for the concern. So all right, guys. So sounds like Cora's all right. Sounds like she's all right. That's good news, and bringing it live here. So yeah. All right, yeah. So sounds like she is going to be okay, according to her, according to herself on the Twitter. So yeah, awesome. Very good news and a relief there. It's deep breath, guys. All right. Well, that's good. Good ending to that segment. Glad she's going to be okay. Okay, so up next, we had a sit down interview with Ethan Page. I mean, I want to say via satellite, but via two corners of a backstage region of the Performance Center, I suppose. Yeah, yes, she does. A lot of the NXT talents certainly staying busy with the exchange or the talent exchange with TNA. But yeah, they jawed here. Good back and forth between the two of them. Obviously, Ethan Page has been showing this serious, vile, cruel, violent side for some couple months now, a few months now. Gosh, it's been going for a while, and it's taken Javon Evans to a darker place and a more serious place, and that's good. I think that's helped his character quite a bit. It's added another facet to him, and that is not a bad thing. Just as well rounded as you can be before you're up on the main roster, the better. And that's what we're doing here at NXT, guys. It's developmental still. It's we get a lot of good wrestling, but it is still developmental, and it is still where people are learning and evolving. Evans again reiterated here that Page took his smile and his voice for months, and that people like Page try to hold people like Javon Evans down, and that they always will. Vic asked for any closing words here, and the two just argued over each other in the segment. Again, going to have a great match between the two of them. I think that Ethan Page he's getting something different out of Javon, and that's good. Again, that's a lot of people were, I don't want to say confused as to Ethan Page going to NXT and not immediately to the main roster. But it's reasons like this. Like, he is doing some really, really stellar work at NXT with a variety of opponents. And this feud with Javon Evans has just been stellar for so many reasons. Just the character development, just the physicality and the violence. That jaw break moment with the blood spatter, it was a horror show. That's going to make my probably my without question my top 10 moments for NXT for this year. Just absolute or the wrestling calendar year, I should say. Just absolute wild. This feud's been great, and I'm ready for them to have their blow off. It's going to be fantastic. All right. So back in the NXT arena, we had a NXT Arena Performance Center. We call it many things. Kale Dixon made his way to the ring ahead of his match with Trick Williams, or Tricky Williams, as Santino Marella said. Trick made his way to the ring to a chorus of "Whoop That Trick," looking very serious, looking very angry. And yeah, like I said, I was looking forward to this match. I thought it might get some decent action, get a little bit of little show for Kale Dixon. No, Trick Williams came right out of the gate with so much aggression, fury, anger, and hatred. Trick shot, boom, flurry of offense. Referee stops the match, calls it for Trick Williams in 5 seconds. 3 ain't enough. Trick Williams beat Kale Dixon in 5 seconds. Kale Dixon really needs Chase U. Like, violently needs Chase U. Whew. I like Kale. I like Uriah Connors. I almost call him Uriah Heep every time, which is making me sound ancient. They are just an old hippie band. Not unlike the Grateful Dead. But Uriah Connors, fourth generation superstar. I like them. I like this pairing for them. It's giving them something to do. I like that they're trying to revitalize Chase U. I might be a little biased for that reason. But damn, this did not make Kale Dixon look good. Just run the fuck over. And I understand. That Trick Williams is up here, somewhere up here, and where Sabu points up there. And, Kale is between my name and the border. But still, 5 seconds. Talk about a squash match. After the match, if you want to call it that, Trick Williams called out Eddie Thorpe. And he got an answer from Eddie Thorpe pretty quickly. We thought he was coming down the ramp, but no. Eddie was up in the crow's nest again. Good use of the crow's nest. I absolutely love the crow's nest. They jawed back and forth here, talked about, how badly they want to beat each other. And Eddie Thorpe, he challenged Trick Williams to an NXT Underground match at Roadblock. Next Tuesday it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a really, really good show. I mean, NXT is great every week, but this is gonna be huge. I'm so sorry when they announced Roadblock that I was like, oh, it's just it's just gonna be a weekly show. Just names, gonna have a special name. That's all. No, it's basically a PLE. It's a PLE with commercials, which we get picture in picture here in the States for the most part. So even during commercials, we're still seeing the matches. Oh, yeah, and I want to mention that too. Speaking of the picture in picture, first match, the tag match, the breaks have picture in picture. Jaida Parker and Kelani Jordynne, the breaks have picture in picture. Jordynne Grace and Cora Jade, the break that they had during the match did have picture in picture. So they got that across the board tonight, which was really good. If you're going to insist on taking a commercial break during a professional wrestling match, you need to do that picture in picture. I say this a lot. They wouldn't do that with any other sport. If it was in the middle of a play in an NFL game, an NBA game, an MLB game, an NHL game, an MLS game, anything, they wouldn't take a break during that. They would wait. So give the respect to professional wrestling. And, if you're going to take the break, at least go to the old Nitro standby. If the match ends during the commercial break, we will bring you the end of the match after. Like, just go to the old school, These things exist for a reason, guys. But yeah, Eddie Thorpe and Trick Williams. NXT Underground next week, 1-on-1. Going to be fantastic, y'all. Going to be absolutely fantastic. Hey, Tony. Hey, appreciate it, brother. One of my favorite dad shirts I have. Partially because it matches, my favorite sets of bandanas that I have as well. Oh, goodness. But yeah, back to the backstage after challenge made and challenge accepted. Arose such a clatter. We found Roxanne Perez beating the ever-loving hell out of Jordynne Grace with a steel chair in the back there until she was stopped by officials. You know, there seemed to have been, some bad blood, a little negativity between Cora and Roxy, but feels like Roxy is, blaming Jordynne Grace for what happened out there with Cora Jade. You know, feels like, despite them having some issues, she's a little angry that her friend got hurt. Still the heart, guys. Roxy and Cora forever. Yeah. So again, so with Cora being all right, I'm not sure what the plan is going forward with everything there. But Roxy not 100% done with NXT, and there would be an announcement regarding Roxy a little bit later in the night. Let's see here. Ahead of oh, thank you. See, it matches. It matches the bandana. But excuse me. We had the quick announcement of the four. Yes, Roxy. Of the four announced matches that they had at Roadblock. As I said, there would be a bit more announced going forward. But obviously, as aforementioned, the Ethan Page and Javon Evans New York City street fight again should be violent, should be fun, should be a little over the top. Here for it. The Hardys and Fraxium for the TNA Tag Team Championship. Title for title. Stephanie Vacker, Julia, winner take all. Not 100% sure who I think, will be taking all, but we'll get into that a little bit later. I'll make some predictions here at the end of tonight's show. And also for the NXT Championship and the TNA X Division Championship, Hoba Femi and Moose. Great card. And we got our last match added here in a moment as we went back to the press conference where Obafemi was speaking earlier, where Moose was speaking. He stated this was the biggest match of his career. This was solid. Good promo work here from Moose. They are rightfully and understandably so pushing this match hard. It's going to be a big one, and it's going to be fantastic. Really, I keep saying it, guys. I know, I'm sorry, broken record. Really looking forward to it. And it's nice. It's nice to have great graps to look forward to, guys. I love it. After Moose's portion concluded, Ava came out and shared a few words with the reporters there, and she stated that also at Roadblock, we would have one-on-one Jordynne Grace and Roxanne Perez. Should be a fantastic match. We've had them one-on-one once before when it was for the NXT Women's Championship. Roxy retained in that match, so I wonder if Jordynne just might get her win back here, possibly. 6. I know of the 5. I'm not sure what number 6 is, but we'll talk about that a bit here as the predictions break down. Tony's talking about dead shows now. Oh man, love it. Backstage, we had Ricky Saints first cross paths with Ridge Holland. Holland said he shouldn't be here, and Saints told him to get used to seeing a lot of him. Then Saints ran into Shawn Spears as Spears and the Information Bush were making their way toward the the entranceway ahead of tonight's main event. And Spears told Saints that his revolution would be televised. All right. Next, we had, making his entrance for tonight's main event, Shawn Spears with the Information Bush, or as Tony said last week, the Educational Shrub. Remember, guys, they're not a learning tree because that is trademarked, and so is Information Bush, trademark pro wrestling hipster. But they made their entrance to a chorus of boos here. Said it last week. I'll say it again. This is working for me. This Shawn Spears character and framing is working for me. And I have not been a Shawn Spears guy historically. Was not a Ty Dillinger guy. But I like this. I like this quite a bit. Yeah, education shrub, sir. Education shrub. But yeah, all jokes with the education shrub and information bush stuff aside, I liked this a lot, or I like this a lot. I think he's doing good work here. This cult leader shtick it's really kind of his jam, and he's got a good group of underlings with him now. Yeah, I like it. Brooks Jensen, Nico Vance, Izzy Dame, all gelling very well under the information bush with Shawn Spears. Out next, we had the NXT North American Championship. Tony D'Angelo, the Don of NXT, with the family. Stacks, Luca Crucifino, Adriana Rizzo, all with him. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier tonight. Lillian Garcia was on the ring announcing duties this evening. It was wonderful to hear Lillian. I always love hearing Lillian, but cool to see her doing a spot at NXT this evening. But we had the formal announcements for the match, and we were underway. Guys, solid work. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is probably Shawn Spears' best match since being back at NXT. Informational succulent. Yeah, I'll take that too. Sorry, I digress. I think this is one of Shawn Spears' best matches since being back at NXT. The Dawn here continues to look more crisp and better and more fluid in his movements. They had a great back and forth physical match here. Not as much interference from the outside as I thought there would be. It did break down a little bit. At one point, Izzy Dame did grab the foot of Tony D'Angelo, and Adriana Rizzo took her out from there. And so we did have some physicality outside the ring there, but just really, really good match. And I'm a little extra surprised that I'm saying that because it's a Shawn Spears match. I said last week that even as cool as the progressive spotlight video package was, I wasn't really super excited about this match. I wasn't that hyped about this match, and they really delivered here, and they exceeded my personal expectations for this match. And again, if you're not going to watch all of NXT, if you're just going to check out a couple matches, you got to check out the main event for a couple reasons. One, the quality. Hey, Mac. Thank you. Hipster cast tonight. It's just me and Molly Holly here, the long hair Chihuahua. It's fine. She loves it. She feels like she's flying. Magic carpet ride and all that. Good to see you here. You just saw her, Tony. She's right here. This little Molly Holly, always being a good sport about the whole thing. Even though I wake her up a dozen times a night during these shows. But guys, sorry. Back to the match. 12 minutes, 26 seconds after a wonderful amount of back and forth physical action, good WWE main event style. Spears, after a collision between Stacks and Tony D, where he landed on his back on a chair outside the ring, gets back in the ring. He's mocked by Shawn Spears, saying so much for family. And he ends up nailing the Don of NXT with a C4. He for a moment, the Don he struggled out of the first one, went for that high spine buster. He collapsed. The C4 was set up again. The C4 connected. 1, 2, 3. the Dawn's reign is over. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new NXT North American champion, none other than Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears victorious, 12 minutes, 26 seconds. The family just has to be utterly fractured by this. Things were already rough between them. Things were already looking kind of bleak and bad. And with this collision between Stacks and Tony, you can make an argument here that had Tony not been flung from the apron and landed on a chair, he might not have lost this match. Maybe he would have had enough to kick out still. Maybe he could have made it, but he didn't. Yeah, that's the general consensus, Tony. But he couldn't, and man, a pretty good title run, pretty damn good title run coming to an end here tonight, at the hands of Shawn Spears and the Information Bush. Like I said, probably the best Shawn Spears match since he's been back in NXT. Fair. That's actually very accurate. I am her butler, more or less, her manservant, as it would be. But, sorry, that one got me a little bit. Uh, it was really good. It was really quality match, good main event style, and I don't know. Maybe the family's time is coming to an end here. It's certainly the end of Tony D's run. He might get a rematch. It's possible. Oh shoot! You know what? No, I'll pop here real quick back. I forgot to mention this when Ava was at her press conference. She was confronted by Fatal Influence. Speaking of North American titles, and Fallon Henley is vying for her rematch for the North American Championship, as she has not yet received it. Tony D's potential rematch made me think of that. But I'm here. I'm here for what Shawn Spears is going to do with this championship. I think that the Information Bush needed this. I said a similar thing of Fatal Influence and Fallon Henley when she won the Women's North American Championship. It gave a little extra oomph, a little more gravitas to the group as well as herself. But having gold around his waist does lend a little more seriousness, um, to the threat that they are as an unhinged cult group. Love it, love it. And I never thought I'd be saying that I'm excited for something that Shawn Spears is doing, and that's my normal reaction and appearance when Shawn Spears is doing things. Yeah, Tony, and that's the thing. I feel like Tony and his family need to move on. They're getting stale. I feel like I can't be the only one starting to feel that way. And I love it. I love the family. I think the gimmick's great. I think they've done very well together. But when they ended Chase U, that was part of my thought. You're ending Chase U, but the family's still going strong. Okay, sure, whatever. But it feels like hopefully Chase U's coming back. But I think the family's time. It's probably coming to an end here, but we'll see. The future is always up in the air when it comes to professional wrestling. You never know what's going to happen. There's been a lot of surprises lately in WWE, and tonight was no exception. We it's a good show, guys. It's a good show. Had a nice, good matches all across. Big title match, big finish. Absolutely loved it. I wish WWE would send some of their lower card wrestlers to other promotions to stir up in the wrestling community. With the TNA talent exchange, it's seemingly only been TNA and NXT talent going back and forth. No one from the main roster. Now, Tony, it is interesting that you say that. They actually do have Natalya Neidhart. We'll do something different with them. Yeah. If you want to have, but Natalya Neidhart is going to be in the NWA Crockett Cup coming up. So they are A little bit of that, and then I think she's also appearing at Bloodsport, GCW Bloodsport. So they're doing a bit with Natty. I think it was James Vanderbeek over on the socials at Jimmy Tate referred to her as the Slambassador. I think so. I like that. Oh yeah, cross social stuff is great. They're not even at a risk. Not even at a risk of overkilling it right now or overdoing it. Yeah. It's gonna be cool. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to it. But folks, gosh, that's really about all I can say about NXT as a whole. Real quick, before I get into the megastars and jobbers of the night this evening, I do want to just real quick go over the card for Roadblock coming up next Tuesday at MSG in New York. Again, really looking forward to this, and I'll give you some quick off the rip predictions here as well. These aren't concrete. I'll make official predictions sometime next week. But first up, we've got Roxanne Perez and Jordynne Grace. I don't. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Tony. I'm not sure. But first up, the last announced match on the card, Roxanne Perez and Jordynne Grace. As I said earlier, considering the fact that Roxy and Jordynne have gone one-on-one before, and Jordynne beat her in large part because at the time Jordynne was still contracted to TNA and the Knockouts champion, she couldn't be walking away with the NXT Women's Championship. Roxy won there. So I think we have a pretty good chance of Jordynne Grace getting the victory in this matchup. Also because Roxy's not that much longer for the NXT roster. I think she's going to be heading up here, assuming not too long after Stand and Deliver, not too long after WrestleMania, provided they have something for her to do. And I think that they will, because they're already letting her dabble up there a bit, giving her a lot of momentum with the amount of time she spent, breaking the record for the amount of time spent in the Women's Royal Rumble, having her featured in the Elimination Chamber match this past Saturday. So I think she's going to be in good shape. Of course, I said that about Lyra Valkyria when they took her up to the main roster, and it's taken her some time to get her footing for a myriad of reasons. Not all her fault. Certainly not all her fault. Some in large fault of the way management treated her and decided to book her. I don't want to get into that right now, though. But I think that Roxy's not long for NXT, and I think that she's going to be putting people over. Going to be putting people over on the way out. Thank you, Tony. The gags guy. Yeah. The cocaine spot. God, yeah, the cocaine spot that cost them a television contract on the CW. Incidentally, where NXT is now featured. Yeah, so I think in all likelihood we're going to get Jordynne Grace walking away with the victory there. Also on the card, in that New York City street fight, Javon Evans and Ethan Page. I think Javon's got to get the win here. He's kind of been pummeled around left and right during this feud. He showed a lot of fire and a lot of aggression. He has not faltered. He's done the stalwart babyface thing, trying to get back in the ring, even when he wasn't, physically, medically cleared to do so. I think he's got to get the win here. I think it's his match. He's going to hopefully, go somewhere deep and just bring out a really just violent side to him. Hoping for some real high flying spots through some tables there. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Hashtag looking forward to it. I've said it so many times. I might as well start hashtagging it. Next up, the legendary, the one of, if not greatest tag team of all time, as the Fraxium says, they call them the greatest of all time. The greatest tag team of all time, taking on the greatest tag team currently for the TNA Tag Team Championships. The Hardy Boys going against Fraxium, Nathan Fraser, and Axiom. This is going to be a doozy, a slobber knocker, a barn burner, a banger, whatever the heck you want to call it, whatever superlatives you want to throw into this. It's going to be astonishing. The Hardys can still go, all right? They still got enough gas in the tank to do this, and Fraxium can create movement with brooms, all right? So between that, it's going to be good, and the crowd's going to be hot for it. It's going to be in New York. It's going to be a blast, guys. As far as predictions, I do think that the Hardys walk away retaining the TNA Tag Team Championships. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I have been before. I certainly will be again in the future. I don't know if this is one of those times or not, but I think that the Hardys will retain here, but it won't be over. It won't be over with them in Fraxium. I think we'll get more with them. All right. On the main event scene for the women here, NXT Women's Champion Julia going 1-on-1 against the Women's North American Champion Stephanie Vaquer. Title for title, one woman will walk away with both championships. Or will they? Or will they? And that is the question I ask. Will this actually have a finish that sees one of them winning both titles? You know, it could be some sort of I wouldn't want them to go to an interference disqualification. I don't want to go that route, but maybe, you know, some sort of count out victory, or you know, a double count out sort of thing. Just something. Or oh, you know what? And you'll know they're going this route if they announce it ahead of time, because they only announce these sorts of things when they're going to go this route. Maybe go to a time limit. Maybe have them go to a time limit draw. Don't really know how you particularly do that on a 2-hour non-PLE broadcast of NXT, but they can make it work. That's something they could do to get out of having one woman walk away with both titles. But I just don't see it happening that way. I could be I could be wrong. Robert, hey, double pin could be the double pin scenario. That's a good way out as well. You know, and everyone can just keep their own belt, and everyone goes home happy, and they can run this back a little bit further down the road. You know, I do feel as though they're rushing it a little bit because of the venue. You know, it's going to be in New York City, MSG. It's a big show. It needs to have a lot of importance. They're trying to sell tickets, so I get why they're doing it. But yeah, I like that double pin. I like that double pin idea. Twin refs, twin refs. But yeah, so I don't see both women winning either belt. There's a few different ways they could go about, you know, not having one of them win both championships, regardless of how it ends. It's going to be a great match. It's going to be an absolute, just again, slobber knocker, barn burner, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be that. It's going to be that, guys. All right. Finally, on the card, NXT champion, the ruler, Obafemi, taking on X Division champion, Moose. Title. Moose Moose is not, I don't think Moose is beating Obafemi here. Yeah, I remember there was God, was that the screw job thing with Andre the Giant and the evil Hebner and all that? I'm going way back. But yeah, I think Obafemi's taking this. I think Obafemi will be walking out with these championships held high as the ruler of all. Yeah. Again, regardless of what the finish is here, it's going to be a fantastic match. It's going to be stiff, hard hitting, brutal. Again, guys, I know, hashtag, really looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast. I'm not that young. I'm going to be 40 in like 2 months, Tony. All right? It's just a couple months away. Knocking on 40's door, sir. But yeah. So great card for next week. I'll get some official predictions put down in stone here. Coming up over the next few days. You guys gotta let me know what you think. What's going to happen with that? But yeah, so that is NXT tonight, guys, and I think that is a solid and a good transition for me to move into tonight's NXT Jobber of the Night. So sad. So sad. It's Kale Dixon. It's Kale Dixon. It's unfortunate, but it is Kale Dixon. He just got the absolute crap knocked out of him tonight. I love his character. Like I enjoy the segment, with Trick getting to be kind of a dick and getting his face about this, and you know, be angry. Kind of start to delve into that more heelish side. I'm fine with that. And Kale Dixon was a good foil for that here tonight. But like I said earlier this evening, Kale didn't look good losing in 5 seconds. Nobody looks good if they finish in 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, it wasn't good. No. All of Kale Dixon's quads are intact, Tony. So I can see that though. It's the hair, isn't it? It's Kale Dixon's hair. Kale Dixon's hair is not Jobber of the Night. Kale Dixon's hair is fantastic. I like to fancy myself having relatively relatively good hair, but Kale might have me beat there. Yeah, I can see the Nash comparisons there with yeah, but losing in 5 seconds, getting absolutely run over. Sorry, Kale. Sorry. As much as I enjoy your work, especially your work that was on Level Up, you're my Jobber of the Night, sir. Sorry. But hey, you might be hearing Molly digging next to me right now. She thinks she's going to get into the couch. She is wrong. She will not. You can see the pillow moving a little bit. Molly? No? Okay. Moving on. It is time for the NXT Megastar of the Night. I like them. I like them a lot. But guys, my megastar tonight, you might have seen it coming. I went back and forth here a little bit. I thought about Shawn Spears because great showing in tonight's main event. Like I said, I was very pleasantly surprised. Best Shawn Spears match I think I've seen, especially in NXT. I as much as I like Tony D, I think the right person won there, but he's not my megastar tonight, guys. No, my megastar this evening, Jaida Parker. Also, that was my match of the night, Jaida Parker and Kelani Jordynne. I just thought it was fantastic from bell to bell. Big win, dominant, great win for Jaida here. Just so much action in this. Everything, I will say that there were a couple spots that were a little slow on the execution, but overall, everything connected. Everything looked good. Jaida Parker just has absolutely everything you need or want in a long-term main event talent. She is so talented, so skilled, and get used to hearing the name Jaida Parker because she's not going anywhere. She has no limit as far as I'm concerned. Unlimited upside and potential for Jaida Parker. And Jaida Parker is my megastar of the night tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you first and foremost for tuning in live. There you go, Molly. With myself and Molly here this evening, we appreciate the hell out of all of y'all that make this show possible. And where are you going now? That make this show possible and tune in with us every single week. We appreciate it. If you enjoyed what you heard here, well, thank you, Molly. If you enjoyed what you heard here this evening, well, I have some fantastic news for you. Dirt Sheet Radio is here every day. Professional wrestling never stops, and Dirt Sheet Radio is always on. We are here every Monday night for Raw. We're here, obviously, for Tuesdays nights on NXT, and on Wednesdays, tune in for the Dirt Sheet Radio flagship program, which also will feature the rewind coverage for AEW Dynamite every single week. And on Thursdays, hey, that's like our sister show, TNA Impact. Be sure to check that out as well. And of course, on Fridays, hey, you can't miss SmackDown or Smack Sound. as the logo was. Also, guys, on the weekends, CJ and myself like to bring you the Weekend Wrestling Roundup with a W. That's the 3 W's, guys. Hopefully, we'll be bringing you a show this weekend. Still a little up in the air, but we should be talking to you Sunday. We'll let you know for sure a little later in the week. But also on Sundays, and for sure, every week, the 3NT crew breaking down the week of professional wrestling, all the news, all the big spots, everything you want to hear and more, and looking good while they do it. So be sure to tune in to 3NT on Sunday this weekend. Guys, that's the show. I'm Tyler, the Pro Wrestling Hipster. After you give a follow to Dirt Sheet Radio on all social media outlets and hit that like and subscribe and that bell, I know you get tired of hearing it, but it really does help us out. Guys, after you do all of that, hey, thanks for that, Jared. After you do all that, if you could give me a follow too over on Facebook at The Pro Wrestling Hipster, I'd really appreciate that. Guys, thank you so very much for tuning in live tonight. I appreciate it. Molly appreciates it. Appreciates it? Jeez, where's my grammar gone? Molly appreciates it. For Dirt Sheet Radio and for Molly Holly, the long-haired Chihuahua, I'm Tyler, the Pro Wrestling Hipster. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time. See you tomorrow night live for Dirt Sheet Radio. Have a good night, everyone.